President Uhuru Kenyatta and his elder brother Raila Odinga are in a huge dilemma over the Building Bridges Initiative process. The High Court this week declared the entire process unconstitutional, null, and void, which means the President and Raila Odinga have only two options. The first option they have is to accept the verdict that the process was unconstitutional. But what are some of the implications of accepting the verdict of the court? It would mean, number one, that they've wasted a whole 3 years pursuing an illegality. Number two, it would mean that they've spent taxpayers' money on an illegality, and therefore someone can easily go to court to sue them. Number four, it also means that they didn't get sound legal advice as a president and as Raila Odinga as someone who's been serving as the opposition leader in this country. So I don't think these guys are going to accept the results. The second option they have is to appeal the ruling. And from all indications, they are likely to appeal the ruling. Their allies yesterday addressed the media, led by Junet Mohammed and Dennis Waweru. And they hope that the Court of Appeal is going to overturn some of those rulings. And there are challenges. So in this video today, I want us to look at the dilemma which President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are currently facing. But before we do that, if you're watching this channel for the first time, please, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button. Just click that subscribe button now so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now let us get back to serious business. The High Court made a ruling on the Building Bridges Initiative process. The process is unconstitutional, is null, and is void, which means the only options available are two. You either accept those results or appeal to a higher court. So they have the option of appealing at the Court of Appeal, and again, if they are defeated there, then they can go up to the Supreme Court. And in my next video, I want to do a video why personally, if you ask me, I would advise Raila Odinga to accept the court verdict, and after accepting the court verdict, then he should go ahead and abandon the Building Bridges Initiative process. Now let us try and focus on the challenges these guys are facing currently. And begin with number one, what next? What next means what should be their next options? Either accept or appeal. Assuming they are going to appeal the way Junet Mohammed announced.
The judges stopped the president, who is not a promoter of the bill. On our part, we assure Kenyans that we shall continue to promote the constitutional amendment bill until it is ratified by Kenyans. As law-abiding leaders, we respect the decision of the court, but we don't agree with it. Consequently, we are setting up a legal team to look into and appeal the ruling. In the meantime, we assure all Kenyans who believe in the BBI and its promise not to give up. It is not over yet. We still believe a new Kenya is possible, that the BBI will give birth to that new Kenya. We will fight to the bitter end for that dream to be realized. We need your support. We need your support so that more money can go to the counties. We need your support so that we can have a ward fund. We need your support so that we can end election violence. We need your support so that we can end corruption in our country. We need your support so that we can fight corruption. And then also we need your support so that we can have shared prosperity. These are not partisan or political issues. These are daily life and death issues affecting millions of our people. They are worth fighting for, and we will fight to realize them. Thank you so much. And that's the end of the statement on behalf of the BBI Secretariat. So if you have any question, you can ask, and they should be. This is, but I can see the statement has really, yeah, almost
addressed all the
it was
issues.
comprehensive. It has addressed all the issues, and our next date should be in court, at the Court of Appeal, God willing, in the soonest possible time. So if you don't have other question.
Are you worried of the timelines now the BBI process getting into the legal battles in court,
Yeah.
and the timelines, legal timelines with up to holding a referendum?
We will cross that bridge when we are done with these cases. When we finish with the Court of Appeal, then we will give you the timelines on when we will do it.
After 8 August, because there are 2 months.
We don't want to speculate. Let us wait until we are done with the cases. Yeah. We will appeal next week, God willing.
Assuming they go for an appeal, is there a chance that they are likely to succeed? Because that's the big question. Remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta is the President of the Republic of Kenya. He has an Attorney General who is supposed to advise the President. This process has been ongoing for the last 3 good years. I mean, you want to tell me that nobody realized that the President ought not to have been the initiator of this process and figured out a way of going around that in the last 3 years? Which means the Attorney General, who is ideally expected to challenge this appeal, slept on the job. And the President must do something about it. 3 years is a long time. President Uhuru Kenyatta also has lawyers. Fred Ngatia, even Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi is one of his lawyers. He has several. And he can even recruit the most expensive lawyers in this country just to advise him on the BBI process. So it failed. You go to Raila Odinga. I've known Raila Odinga as someone who always had a battery of lawyers around him. Is it possible that these lawyers never advised Raila Odinga? Don't tell me about Otienda Molo and don't tell me about James Orengo. These guys ought to have advised Raila Odinga at the beginning, because there was nothing they were going to advise after the county assemblies voted for this bill. So something is wrong somewhere. What about the perception? Assuming they go for an appeal and the court grants some of their prayers, which is highly likely, there are some which might not be granted. So assuming they are going to make 10 prayers and court grants them 9 and 1 is out, what next? Again, the process still cannot proceed. What about perception? Politics is perception. The Court of Appeal made a very populist ruling, including referring to President Uhuru Kenyatta as Mr. Kenyatta. So the truth of the matter is that even if the Court of Appeal were to overturn that ruling, perceptionally Kenyans would believe that they have been compromised. That's the honest truth. So how are they going to deal with that perception? So that's the first thing. The second thing is the Building Bridges Initiative launch and the time frame. BBI has a time frame. Ideally, the process, I think, should end by, is it August or September? If the legal process is going to affect the timelines, is it possible that the courts are likely to grant a change to the timetable? Because I know President Uhuru Kenyatta is actually coming to Nyanza, I think from 25th. He's supposed to land in Kisumu. And he's going to stay here for a whole week. And I was being informed that one of the programs which they had was to launch the Building Bridges Initiative train. So the president was going to officially launch the Building Bridges Initiative campaigns in Kisumu. With this new development, can that happen? I don't think it can happen. And because it can't happen, what next? Will they get enough time to campaign for the BBI? Next week, they are likely, I know for sure, that probably right now they are reading the 135-page ruling. Their lawyers are already working on it. But how long will it take to make a determination on this case? It can drag. If it won't succeed, then it will go to Supreme Court. Again, there, it will drag. So the launch of the official campaigns for BBI is going to be affected. And in case it's going to be affected, how are they going to convince Kenyans that building bridges initiative process is good? I was listening to some interview, I think it was on NTV. They were just interviewing people after the ruling. And it was clear that Nyeri, Murang'a, those central Kenya, Mount Kenya region, people were opposed and were really celebrating. But someone caught my attention from Kilifi. He was saying that they are supporting the document, but they started understanding the benefits of the document a bit late. So which means even civic education was not done properly on this document. So it needs a serious campaign to succeed. But with this timing, it's not going to succeed. Number 3 is President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. Uhuru Kenyatta made it very clear that the BBI process is going to culminate into his legacy. That he wanted to use the Building Bridges Initiative process to secure what he calls unity of the country. Up to now, I've never comprehended how he wanted to do this. But I've always assumed that the president was planning probably to craft a team, a national team, where we are going to have a president and a prime minister. We are going to have a deputy president and also 2 deputy prime ministers. Then these are spread across various tribes so that after the elections, we won't have these issues of violence and the rest. Again, maybe he wanted to support Raila Odinga. Then after supporting Raila Odinga, then that will solve some historical injustices, especially the rigging, and therefore the country was going to remain peaceful after the elections and the president was going to achieve his legacy. Now with this new development, where is that living President Uhuru Kenyatta? During his second term after the campaign, the president came up with four Agenda 4. He's no longer talking about Agenda 4. So is he going to go back to Agenda 4? Or is he going to continue pursuing the Building Bridges Initiative process? Because Agenda 4 cannot work. The country is broke. Everything was stolen in this government in the first term. Overborrowing took place in this government in the first term. So the second term, the government cannot afford whatever they are planning to do. So the president wanted just to do unity of the country. Now that's gone. How is he going now to achieve his legacy, which he wanted to achieve through the Building Bridges Initiative process? Number 4 is the 2022 politics. William Ruto has been celebrating the court ruling. Why do you think he's celebrating the court ruling? He's celebrating the court ruling because he believes that the president and Raila Odinga were planning to use BBI to achieve certain political objectives. What about the president and Raila Odinga? Again, they were planning to use BBI to achieve certain political objectives. The coastal region were going to go back and support Raila Odinga in the hope that Raila Odinga has given them more constituencies, that they are going to get more funding. They were not going to be marginalized like before, more resources to the counties. The president had also intended to use BBI to appeal to the people of the larger Mount Kenya region, explain to them why he's giving them more constituencies, why more money based on one man, one vote was going to be very important for them. Without that, it's now done. I don't know the next strategy they are going to use. Of course, they are politicians and they've been in the game. They might just come up with something. And lastly is the legal competence of President Uhuru Kenyatta's team. Can they win any legal battle? That's the question. And I think I've explained it a bit there. But it's something which they have a dilemma in. So that instead of wasting time, what next? Or should they go further and just appeal? Are the team capable of winning legal battle? Will Orengo and Otindamolo accept to take a lead role on Raila Odinga's side? Because Paul Mongi has failed, the legal advice of Raila Odinga. On the other side, the Attorney General, Kihara, has also failed. The Solicitor General, a very sharp brain, has failed the President. So let us wait and see how things are going to turn out moving forward. But for now, I strongly believe that the Building Bridges Initiative process and that court ruling has heavily affected President Uhuru Kenyatta and affected Raila Odinga. And it's coming at a time when the people of Juja are going for a by-election. That's going to be my next video. Moses Kuria versus President Uhuru Kenyatta in Juja constituency. Who is likely to win? And what will be the implications of the results from Juja should Moses Kuria win against President Uhuru Kenyatta? It's going to be very interesting. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.